What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a collection update, and it's quite a bit. But before I do that, I'm just going to tell you, why I have a lot. So I live about 2 hours away from Evansville, Indiana. I live in Southern Illinois, so it's a decent drive. But me, my sister, and her husband, aka my brother-in-law, we went today, because it's after Christmas. I got a bunch of Christmas money from family, and they have like a bunch of sales. So the place I went to in Evansville, and I'll leave a link to their website in the description, but they're called Super Mega Replay, and again, I'll leave that in the description if you want to check them out. They are the best gaming / media store I've ever been to. Seriously, I'm not even joking. They had a sale going on from December 28th to December 31st. If you buy 3 DVDs, and might add, their DVDs are mostly only 3 or 33 a piece. If you buy 3 of them, you get 7 for free. They had that sale going on, and for Blu-ray it was buy 3 and then get 3 for free, which is still an amazing deal. And again, like I said, each DVD is only about $3.33, so pretty much you buy 3 DVDs for $9.99 and then you get an extra 7 for free. So you're pretty much paying $1 per movie, which is an amazing deal. And I found some pretty good movies, and I also bought 1 video game from there. And yeah, I'll just show you guys what I got. So first off, I'm just going to show you the game I got because it's the only game I got. So I got Grand Theft Auto 5, and I used to have a copy, but I lent it to my brother, and then he lost it. So yeah, I needed to buy another copy. It was only $10, and the game is in really good condition. It's in great condition when you can see the cover through the back of the disc. There's like hardly any scratches. This smudge is just the one I created. And not only that, but they gave me the manual and the map, which is like amazing. The copy that I bought years ago from a pawn shop didn't even have the manual or the map. So yeah, for $10, this is a great deal. It's an amazing game. So yeah, this is definitely worth $10. And now for all the DVDs. I think I have like 40 DVDs. Again, buy 3, get 7 for free. So I took advantage out of that deal a lot. Just get the bags open here and take a drink of my water real quick. Oh, I've been thirsty today. I don't know why. Sorry, I can't close this. So, where am I going to start? I guess I'll start here. So, my first DVD I got Zack and Miri Make a Porno. This is a really funny movie with Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks, along with Jason Mewes and Craig Robinson, a bunch of other people. But it's a really funny movie about these 2 poor friends portrayed by Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks, who pretty much are just like dead broke, and they pretty much decide to make a porno to pretty much pay their rent. But then they find it's a romantic comedy, but it's really funny. It's directed by Kevin Smith, who of course is known for portraying Silent Bob and Jane Silent Bob and Clerks and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a really good movie. It has 2 discs. I think the second disc is like making of and Comic-Con outtakes and bloopers. So yeah, this is a really good movie. Really good movie. Next DVD I got is Super Size Me. This is a documentary from 2004. It's pretty much Morgan Spurlock, this guy right here. He does like an experiment where he eats McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for 30 days. And he gets the supersize option. And I think he gained like over 30 pounds, and he had like a loss of libido, like a bunch of other stuff. So like it really affected his life and his health. So yeah, and after this movie, McDonald's quit doing this the Super Size Me options. So yeah, this is a really good movie, really good documentary. Rest in peace, Morgan Spurlock. He died earlier this year at the young age of 54. So yeah, really good documentary movie. And there's also a sequel called Holy Chicken, which is also pretty good. Check that out. Next up on my DVD list, I have Saturday Night Live, The Best of Chris Farley. So I have the Will Ferrell compilation, which I really like. And Chris Farley was also a really good Saturday Night Live cast member. Back when Saturday Night Live was actually good. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking this out. This is really good. Next up, I have, it's kind of a filthy case, I'm not going to lie. But the DVD itself is actually in decent condition. So I might just change the case and just, all that. But it's kind of a dirty case. But Saving Private Ryan, that's what I'm talking about. Directed by Steven Spielberg. Really phenomenal movie. I absolutely hate that it lost Best Picture at the Academy Awards to Shakespeare in Love. Not that Shakespeare in Love was a horrible movie, but it was not worthy of Best Picture. In my opinion, this was worthy for Best Picture. But nonetheless, an amazing movie, and actually a very historically accurate, realistic movie, to the point where literally at the end of the movie in the theaters, they had to put like a PTSD hotline for veterans of World War II who went to go see the movie, because apparently a lot of them suffer PTSD, obviously, you know. Next DVD I have is one of my favorite movies, Starship Troopers. I hate this DVD cover because it looks just so cheap, like just like a regular bug hand. But this is one of my favorite sci-fi movies, one of my favorite action movies, and actually just one of my favorite movies ever, actually. I love this movie. It's got great action. It's got, you know, some funny moments. It's got really good effects, actually, for the time. And yeah, I really like it. Casper Van Dien, Neil Patrick Harris, Denise Richards, some other good people in here. So yeah, definitely check out this movie. It's great. Next up, I got Straight Outta Compton. So this is a movie, this is a biopic about NWA. Yeah, this movie's really good. It's about NWA's history, you know, their troubles with the FBI, Eazy-E's death, and stuff like that. This is a really, really good movie, though. And I love how they actually got O'Shea Jackson Jr., who's the son of Ice Cube, to play his dad, which I think is really neat. I mean, that just makes sense in my opinion. But yeah, this is really good. Definitely check this out if you haven't. It's kind of a sad movie, too, when you think about it. All right, next up, I have Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Pretty good movie. Matthew Broderick and I can't speak. Jeffrey Jones, despite what we know now, you know, he was pretty good in this movie. Overall, pretty good movie. Good old teen drama. Okay. Sorry, DVDs are falling over in the bags. There's a lot. So this is actually a double feature. For $3.33, I get two actually pretty decent movies. But it's The Book of Eli and I Am Legend. Book of Eli is with Denzel Washington, which is a pretty good, he's pretty good in this. And then this is obviously with Will Smith, I Am Legend. But for $3.33 for two decent movies, I say it's a pretty good deal. Next up, we got 300. Yeah, it's not historically accurate. You know, as somebody who's a big fan of Western culture and, you know, and history, of course, I'm going to college to be a history teacher. But I know it's historically inaccurate, but it has really good special effects and has really good action scenes. It's a fun watch, so definitely check it out. You know, Zack Snyder, you know, is a pretty good film. One of my favorite 2000s comedies, we got Old School with Luke Wilson, Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn, some other people. And this is a really funny movie. I laugh my ass off every time I watch this. Three really funny actors. So yeah, just some good old Will Ferrell comedy along with Luke Wilson and Vince Vaughn. Next up we have Soul Surfer. This is a movie I was really obsessed with as a kid, and as I got older, I didn't like it. You know, it's still a decent movie, but it's also a sad movie based on a true story about Bethany Hamilton, who was a surfer, who unfortunately, whenever she was, I believe, 13, 14, she got her arm bit off by a shark. I believe it was a tiger shark, correct me if I'm wrong, but she got her arm bit off, and, you know, obviously arms are a big part in surfing to get the momentum, but she learned how to surf with only one arm, which I think is incredible. So yeah, definitely a decent movie. I also have the book, which is really good too. Stand By Me. This is a really good movie with Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. It's just a nice, good, I wouldn't say kid movie, but coming of age movie about these four kids who go to try to find a dead body. Yeah, that's literally the plot of the movie, but it's a really good movie. So if you ever want a decent movie to check out, definitely check out this. And of course, rest in peace to River Phoenix. He was a really good actor. Next up, I got Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. It comes with a nice slipcover. This is such a good movie. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jack Black and Kyle Gass anyway, but man, Tenacious D is like one of my favorite. I don't know, they're my favorite comedy band, definitely, but their music is just so freaking good. You get the talents of Kyle Gass and Jack Black, who both can play guitar and both sing. It's just phenomenal. And then, of course, Dave Grohl plays the devil in this movie during the end, and it's freaking awesome. So yeah, if you ever want a funny, rockin' movie, definitely check out Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. You will not be disappointed. Next up is Office Space. This is a special edition. This movie is freaking phenomenal. I love Office Space so much. I'm a fan of most things that Mike Judge does. I'm a fan of Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill. I'm a fan of a bunch of stuff that Mike Judge creates. And Office Space, let me tell you, is just so good. Like, I've watched this movie dozens of times. It's really good. So definitely check out Office Space if you haven't. And if you haven't, probably need to rethink your life a little bit. But next up is actually a really underrated movie that not a whole lot of people might know about. But it's called The Emperor's Club. It's a movie from, I believe, 2002. It stars Kevin Kline, Emile Hirsch, Jesse Eisenberg. A really young Jesse Eisenberg, actually, is in this movie. But pretty much... and I saw this in film class actually in high school. That's where I first saw it and I heard about it. And there's another movie in here that I saw in film class in high school for the first time. But this one, our teacher actually made us watch it twice, which I had no problem with because it was a good movie. But pretty much it's about this teacher at this boarding school. Boarding school is just it's like a private school, but they live on campus, so it's similar to like college kind of. But it's a boarding school, and pretty much this teacher, Mr. Hundert, that Kevin Kline plays, he teaches like Western philosophy and Western culture. So pretty much anything like Europe's like Roman, Greek, like anything in the Western area. And he encounters a student who is played by Emile Hirsch. Emile Hirsch was like so young in this, but he's the son of a senator, and he proves to be kind of a challenge for the teacher. So really, it's a good like coming of age story and a good like teacher story. So yeah, definitely check out this movie if you haven't. It's really good, a really underrated movie that not a whole lot of people know about. Edward Scissorhands. This is a really phenomenal Tim Burton movie. It's definitely in my top 5 Tim Burton movies. Also in my top 5 Johnny Depp movies. It's just really, really good. It's nice, gothic. It's beautiful. The soundtrack is haunting but beautiful. Edward Scissorhands is a really phenomenal title character. You know, he's just a shy person, but he really cares about Kim, who was played by Winona Ryder. It's just a beautiful gothic story, in my opinion. Also has some funny moments, too. Next up, we have Superstar with Molly Shannon and Will Ferrell. Yeah, this movie's pretty dumb, but I'm kind of a sucker for it, honestly. It's just such a dumb, goofy movie in a way, but it's just so funny. Next up, we have 8 Mile, which is, of course, it's kind of like a semi-biographical movie about Eminem's life, but it's kind of altered a little bit. But yeah, this is really good, and the DVD bonus is rap battles and music video for Lose Yourself, I'm guessing. Fun fact, Lose Yourself is the only hip-hop/rap song to ever win an Oscar for Best Original Song. But yeah, 8 Mile is phenomenal if you've never seen it. And again, if you haven't seen it, probably want to rethink your life a little bit and go watch this. It's phenomenal. And then last up for the first bag, we got The Social Network. One of my favorite movies of the 2010s, and one of my favorite movies of the last 25 years for sure. I will admit though, this like comes off like right here, and then it has this, and then it has a slip out right here. And then you get to the movies, which disc 1 is the film, and the second disc is like the supplements, which is, I don't know what that is. The packaging is kind of but overall it's a really good movie. So, I tolerate it. But yeah, this is a really good movie, The Social Network. Of course, it's about how Mark Zuckerberg came to find Facebook and, all the lawsuits that he went through and stuff like that. Jesse Eisenberg is phenomenal, and so is Andrew Garfield and Justin Timberlake. Everybody's phenomenal in this movie. So yeah, definitely check out The Social Network if you haven't. And now on to the second bag, which has a decent amount of movies in it too. So I got the Star Trek movie from 2009, or like the Star Trek reboot series. This is the one that's got Chris Pine, Zachary Quino, and some other people that I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But it's actually a pretty good movie. I think it's a worthy reboot. This is honestly one of the best reboots ever, in my opinion. Certainly a lot better than a lot of reboots nowadays. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good movie. I like it. Next up, we have Spy Kids 3D. It's not a great movie, but I'm a sucker for the first three Spy Kids movies. The fourth and fifth one are garbage, like absolute garbage. But the first three, was actually pretty fun. And and this one again, the 3D effects and special effects are pretty bad, but it's a guilty pleasure in my opinion. Next up, I got Saving Silverman, which is a really funny movie. I remember watching this movie as a kid, not being allowed to because it's an R-rated movie. But it's a really funny movie with Steve Zahn, Jack Black, and Jason Biggs. But yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a really funny movie. So yeah, if you like funny movies, check out Saving Silverman. Next up, we have Star Trek. So this was actually for $10, but I bought it because it's a good deal. So it's all 6 original Star Trek movies. So like the originals with Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner. So Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, Star Trek 5, and Star Trek 6. Some of them are not so great, but you know what? I'm a huge fan of Star Trek. I'm what they call a Trekkie, which is a fan of Star Trek. So yeah, I'm a fan of Star Trek. I love Star Wars. Pretty much if it's space and it's kind of cheesy, I love it. Next up is one of my all-time favorite movies and just one of my favorite comedy movies too. Superbad. I freaking love this movie, especially you, McLovin. But yeah, this movie is really funny, like teenager movie. If you just want a movie that's just full of booze, sex, cops being dumbasses, then definitely check this movie out. It's really good. Next up, we got Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams. This is probably my favorite Spy Kids movie because I kind of like how unique it is. Them going to an island and, discovering all these animals. So yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good movie. Probably my favorite of the Spy Kids movies. Next up, we have Funny People. So this is a movie with Seth Rogen, Adam Sandler, and Leslie Mann. I don't know how to pronounce that. But, see, you know what? It's quite a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours long. But pretty much it's about this comedian played by Seth Rogen who's, he's being watched at a stand-up comedy show by this famous actor and comedian played by Adam Sandler. And, he takes a liking to Seth Rogen's character. And, Seth Rogen's character finds out that Adam Sandler's character, I can't remember their names, I apologize. But he finds out that he has, I think he has like leukemia, if I remember. And pretty much, he becomes like his apprentice kind of. So yeah, it's a really good movie. Definitely check it out. Next up, I have Spy with Melissa McCarthy and Rose Byrne. This is actually, I'm not like the hugest fan of Melissa McCarthy. I think she's a little overrated, but this movie right here is actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty darn funny. Next up, we have Saint Ralph. This is the other movie I mentioned whenever I talked about movies I first saw for the first time in film class. So this movie is, it's about this boy, Ralph, who wants to be a runner, like a marathon runner, but he goes to a Catholic boarding school and pretty much the headmaster like denies him, saying like you can't do it. But one of his teachers actually used to be a former marathon runner, so like he kind of like secretly trains him in how to like run a marathon and like win. And by the end of and it's a pretty good movie actually. Not as good as The Emperor's Club as I showed earlier, but a pretty decent movie. So yeah, definitely check out Saint Ralph. Next up, we have Shallow Hal. This is a really funny movie with Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm not a fan of Gwyneth Paltrow because she's a freak and she's weird and she's not that great of an actress, but she's actually pretty good in this movie. Honestly, a lot better than Iron Man or Shakespeare in Love, in my opinion. But this is pretty much about a movie who's, it's about this guy named Hal, played by Jack Black, who's shallow, like the title suggests. He pretty much only views women based on their looks, pretty much. And this genie or whatever, played by Tony Robbins, like hypnotizes him. And it makes him see people, what they look like on the inside, like their inner beauty. So this fat chick, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, appears to be skinny to him because he's only seeing, her true beauty on the inside. And attractively hot women who have like ugly personalities look uglier to him, kind of. So it's kind of like it's like a reverse psychology, kind of, I guess. But yeah, it's a really good movie. There's one sad scene in it, which I'm not going to spoil. You got to watch it. Yeah, this is a really funny movie with Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow. Definitely check it out. Shallow Hal. Next up, I have Rent, which is a really good musical by Jonathan Larson, and the movie adaptation is really good too. Rent's a really good musical. It was written by Jonathan Larson, who also wrote Tick, Tick, Boom. Unfortunately, the night before Rent was supposed to debut, he passed away from a, I can't remember, I think it was like a blood disease that he had, or he had something, but he died the night before Rent was supposed to be debuting, so yeah, that's really sad. And there was also a movie made about his life with Andrew Garfield on Netflix called Tick, Tick, Boom. Definitely check that out. It's a really good movie. But this is also a really good movie, so definitely check out the adaptation of Rent. Next up, I have Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Not my favorite Star Wars movie, but you know what? I'm trying to go for all of them. At least the first 6, in my opinion. The last 3 I can give a shit less about. But this is decent. It's okay. Next up, I have Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I love this movie. It is freaking hilarious. Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Mike Clark Duncan, Sacha Baron Cohen. Just, it's a phenomenal, funny movie. Like, I quote this movie literally almost every day of my life. Rather it's, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby, or I'm on fire, I'm burning. Like, I quote it almost every single day. It's so funny. So yeah, definitely check out Talladega Nights. Next up, I have the original Terminator by James Cameron. Personally, my second favorite Terminator movie. My favorite is Terminator 2. But the first Terminator movie, even though it's action, it's got a horror element to it. Like, I consider this kind of like action, also a little bit of horror, because it's got some scary moments in it, honestly. But yeah, this is a really phenomenal movie, The Terminator by James Cameron. Next up, I have the Three Stooges movie. A lot of people didn't like this movie, and I kind of like it. I like Will Sasso as Curly, Sean Hayes as Larry, and then I can't pronounce his name, who plays Mo. I feel really bad because I actually can't pronounce his name. It's, let me just find it. Chris Diamantopoulos. I don't know, I think he's Canadian. I don't really know, but he's really good as Mo. Yeah, I think they all do their parts pretty darn well. So definitely check that out. I think it's kind of funny. Next up, we got the first Men in Black movie, which is a really good movie. I'm a really big fan of the first 3 Men in Black. I'm not a big fan of the reboot, honestly, that they did with Chris Hemsworth. But yeah, this is a really good movie. It's based on the conspiracy theory Men in Black. So yeah, definitely check out Men in Black. We only got 3 more movies, guys, and then we're done. So next up I got 127 Hours, which is a biographical movie about Aaron Ralston, who was he was kind of like an explorer and the guy who liked to go on hikes, an adventurer kind of. But he was trying to explore a boulder, and or he was trying to like explore like a cavern, and a boulder fell on his arm, and he was stuck for 5 days. And literally, he had, with a tiny pocket knife, he had to cut through his entire arm. He had to break his arm and then cut his arm off with a tiny pocket knife and all the little nerves. And yeah, he almost died because he bled out almost. But luckily, he's still alive to this day. And this is a really good movie. James Franco plays Aaron Ralston. So yeah, if you want like a good psychological, dramatic movie, this is definitely the movie for you. All right, second to last movie, I got 2012. Which is this movie is based on the 2012 phenomenon. So they thought the world was going to end in 2012. So this movie was made in 2009, and it was based around the world ending in 2012. Like, it's a disaster movie, but it's really good. So definitely check that out. And the last movie that we got is The Terminal with Tom Hanks. This is actually based on a real life person. He was I believe he was Iranian. I forget his name. But he was a guy who lived in a terminal, like an airport, for like 18 years. And, his only food source was like McDonald's pretty much that he got every day because there was a McDonald's in the airport. So yeah, this is actually based on that story. So yeah, that's all the movies in the one game I got, guys. If you don't believe me how much movies I got, look at this stack right here. Look at that entire stack. That's That's a bunch. But again, they had a 3-buy-3 get 7 free deal for the holidays, so I was like, how can I say no? But yeah, definitely check out all those movies I mentioned. I only went for movies I actually like. So yeah, definitely check all those movies out. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. I'm going to be going on vacation, so I'm not going to be uploading. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, okay? Peace out.